World government is not about roses and happiness and peace and a better life. It's about enslavement.
The world they're bringing in is to be a world where everyone who is born, or would be allowed to be born to serve the state.
Globalization has economically destroyed the world.
There's going to be a world currency. There's going to be a new reserve currency. They're going to push it through the IMF. That's going to be the banksters that are going to be in charge of it.
For standardization of the world into the one system, and they want a secular world society.
I think we're facing the probability of some form of dollar panic combined with hyperinflation.
This is all part of the plan.
Started with the Federal Reserve System. Wall Street cronies or crooks.
80% of the mortgage fraud was being induced by the lenders, not by the borrowers.
You could not have gotten a more perfect setup for a takeover. Once again, have robbed the public blind.
And we have to end this conflict of interest.
The very rascals that created this problem took the profits.
They've just engaged in this massive looting.
This was a predetermined event. They know that they are taking the profits on going up, but they also know that the end result is the destruction and gutting of this economy.
It's a more sophisticated form of slavery.
These manufactured, these engineered financial catastrophes are the result of a central banking system.
You know, people in the government threatening martial law or things to get their way, the executive branch against Congress.
At some point the dam will break and you're going to have very high inflation, some predict hyperinflation.
You cannot print phantom money out of thin air, backed by nothing, and producing practically nothing without destroying the world economy.
Those banks should have been seized. They should have been seized by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
So who got the money? I don't know. $500 billion and you don't know who?
Foreign banks. Société Générale of France, about 10 billion for a French bank. Deutsche Bank of Germany.
Did Deutsche Bank need the money? How much did they get from the bailout? Well, they told us they got $12 billion from the bailout.
You've got to tell me, where did the money go? And Bernanke simply stonewalls and says, I won't tell you.
And who got the money? Tell us who they are. No.
Behind me, the Federal Reserve is probably the least transparent agency in the federal government. One could even argue that the Central Intelligence Agency is more transparent than the Federal Reserve.
The Fed, as you know, is just a monopoly by the bankers. This is simply putting the foxes in charge of the henhouse.
This is by probably an order of magnitude the biggest fraud in history.
Going into the greatest depression, there will be no job growth. Unemployment will continue to escalate. Along with it, so too will crime, poverty, kidnappings, boss snappings. And the more things spin out of control, the harder the hammer is going to come down by the federal government to keep everyone in control.
Power is much, much more important to them than money is. Money is only a way to the means.